The universal lullaby, from roots to stardust. Hello there. Welcome to the Sleepy Academy. I am so glad you found your way here tonight. In this space, the world outside simply fades away. In our videos, we help people get good sleep. Wherever you are in the world, let this be your moment to slow down. There are no deadlines here. There are no urgent demands. There is only the sound of my voice and the quiet, steady rhythm of your own breathing. Let the noise of the day soften. Let the edges of the room blur. Let your thoughts settle, drifting down like leaves landing on still water. Tonight, we are going to embark on a very long, very gentle journey. We will drift through the quiet wonders of the world we call home. We will explore life on this planet, mysterious, resilient, and extraordinary. And eventually, we will float upward into the silent embrace of the cosmos. Some of what you hear may change how you see the world. Other discoveries might simply float by like petals on a breeze, gentle, curious, and quietly unforgettable. For more videos like this, please like and subscribe to our channel. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, let yourself get comfortable. Shift your shoulders away from your ears. Unclench your jaw. Take a deep breath. And let's begin this slow and soothing journey through the miracles of existence. Let us start by simply breathing. It is the most natural thing in the world, yet it connects you to history deep in the past. Consider the air you are breathing right now. Oxygen was not always here. Long ago, over 2 billion years ago, the Earth was a different place. The atmosphere was void of the oxygen we need. But then, in the ancient oceans, tiny photosynthetic microbes called cyanobacteria began to work. They captured sunlight and released oxygen as a gentle byproduct. At first, it was just a whisper of gas. But over millions of years, that oxygen accumulated in the oceans and the air. It changed the world forever. It paved the way for the complex life we see today, including you. So, in a very real way, the breath that keeps you alive is the legacy of those ancient, microscopic builders. Its history is written in every inhale you take, and that breath continues today in the vast, green lungs of the world. Imagine yourself drifting high above the Amazon rainforest. From here, it looks like a boundless ocean of green. But the forest is doing something magical. It is making its own weather. As sunlight warms the canopy, billions of trees release moisture into the air through their leaves. This vapor rises, invisible and silent. It cools in the sky and condenses into clouds. These are not just ordinary clouds. They are vast, flowing rivers of vapor. They drift across the sky, bringing rain not just to the forest, but to distant lands thousands of miles away. It is a reminder that even the quiet breath of a leaf can shape the weather of an entire continent. In some misty forests, the trees do not just exhale, they drink the sky. Imagine a forest where the fog is thick and cool. Here, trees collect water directly from the clouds. the fog beads up on their needles and leaves, gathering into droplets that slide down, heavier and heavier, until they fall to the roots below. They drink the sky, one drop at a time, pulling moisture from the air as gently as a whisper. Let yourself imagine that cool, fresh air filling your lungs now. You are part of this cycle. You are breathing with the forest. Now, let your mind drift downward, past the leaves, past the trunks of the trees, down into the soil. The forest feels silent to us, but beneath your feet, there is a secret conversation taking place. Trees, which we often think of as solitary giants standing alone, are actually connected. They are holding hands underground. Through a vast, delicate network of fungal threads known as mycorrhizae, the trees are linked. Scientists call this the wood wide web. Through these tiny white filaments, trees exchange nutrients. They send chemical signals to one another. If a tree is thirsty, or if pests are nearby, it can send a silent warning to its neighbors. There are even mother trees, older, wiser giants, that support their offspring by funneling sugars and resources through this hidden web. A birch tree might support a neighboring fir. A dying tree may pass its last energy to the forest around it. It is not a metaphor. It is a biological truth. In this silent world of roots and fungi, the forest is not a collection of individuals. It is a single, breathing, sharing community. And some of these communities are older than we can comprehend. In a quiet grove in Utah, there stands what looks like a forest of aspen trees. Their leaves tremble in the wind. But this is not a forest of many trees. It is one single organism. This is Pando. It is a clonal colony. Every trunk you see is genetically identical, connected by a single, massive root system underground. Pando is estimated to be over 80,000 years old. That means this tree began growing when woolly mammoths still walked the earth. Generations of trunks have died and regrown, but the root system lives on, pushing up new life century after century. It has survived ice ages. It has survived storms. It has survived time itself. Imagine the stillness of a creature that has lived for 80,000 years. A forest that is also a single being, ancient, quiet, and rooted in peace. Deeper still, within the dark, comforting earth, life waits. Seeds are like tiny time travelers. They may seem like simple, lifeless pebbles, but inside, they carry the blueprint for life. Some seeds possess an incredible patience. They can remain dormant for decades or even centuries, just waiting for the perfect moment to sprout. There was once a date palm seed found in an archaeological site. It was 2,000 years old. It had slept through the rise and fall of empires. It had slept through wars and peace. It had slept through silence. And then, when it was finally given water and warmth, it awoke. It grew. In every seed, there is a quiet promise that life can wait, that it can endure darkness, that it can return. A single grain of stillness holding the future in its shell. And it isn't just plants that rest in the earth. In the soil, tiny creatures called earthworms are hard at work. They are blind, silent, and slow, but they are the engineers of the world. As they tunnel, they create space for air and water to reach the roots of plants. They recycle the falling leaves, returning nutrients to the earth. They move quietly, tirelessly, shaping the ground beneath our feet. And then, there are the strange sleepers of the animal kingdom. Think of the frog in winter, specifically the wood frog of North America. When the bitter cold of winter arrives, this frog does something astonishing. It freezes solid. Its heart stops beating. Its blood stops flowing. It becomes as hard as a rock. To any observer, it appears to be gone. But inside its body, natural antifreeze compounds protect its cells. It is not dead, it is merely suspended. It waits in the cold, dark winter, completely still. And when the spring sun warms the earth, the ice melts. The heart begins to beat again. The frog wakes up and hops away as if nothing happened. It is a miracle of resilience, a reminder that even in the deepest freeze, life is waiting to return, heartbeat by heartbeat. Before the frogs, before the trees, before the seeds, there were the first builders. If you go to the shallow waters of Shark Bay in Australia, you will see strange, rock-like mounds rising from the water. These are stromatolites. They look like stones, but they are built by life. They are created by colonies of cyanobacteria, the same ones that gave us oxygen. Layer by microscopic layer, these bacteria trap sediment and bind it together. They grow incredibly slowly. Some of the fossilized structures found on Earth date back over 3.5 billion years. They are the oldest evidence of life we have. Quiet, strange, and ancient monuments to the earliest engineers. They remind us that life does not need to be fast to be significant. It does not need to be loud. It simply needs to persist. Just like the mountains. Did you know that Mount Everest is still growing? Every year, it rises a tiny bit higher. The Earth's tectonic plates push together with steady, infinite patience, lifting the peak millimeter by millimeter. You would never notice the change in a single lifetime. But over centuries, the world reshapes itself. Even the tallest, most solid peaks are still becoming something new. And rivers too have this patience. Over thousands of years, a river can carve a canyon through solid rock, not by force, but by persistence, a quiet, steady touch that smooths the edges of the world. Softness, repeated over time, is stronger than stone. There is a hidden world beneath us that is even more mysterious. Far below your feet, deep beneath the crust of the earth, scientists have found water locked inside minerals. It is not a lake, and it is not a river. It is water bound within the rocks themselves, held gently by pressure and time. There is enough water down there to fill an entire ocean, an ancient, silent sea cradled within the bones of the planet. And in the deep caves of the world, life glows. Imagine entering a cave in New Zealand. It is pitch black, but as you look up, the ceiling looks like the night sky. These are glowworms, thousands of them hanging from the ceiling, creating a constellation of blue-green light. They use this light to attract prey, but to us, it looks like magic. Bioluminescence, living light, has evolved over 40 separate times on Earth, from bacteria to fungi to fireflies. Even deep in the soil, the naked mole rat lives its long, dark life. These wrinkled, hairless creatures have built societies underground that function like insect colonies. They have a queen, they work together, but their true secret is time. Naked mole rats do not age like other mammals. They live for 30 years, an eternity for a rodent. A 5-year-old mole rat looks the same inside as a 25-year-old one. They resist cancer. They can survive with almost no oxygen. In the dim tunnels, they are quiet masters of survival. Leave the caves behind now. Let your mind drift upward, out of the earth and toward the shore. We walk the land and we live beneath the sky, but most of Earth's life is hidden beneath the waves. The ocean covers more than 70% of the planet's surface. It is a world of endless blue, a wilderness that is vast, deep, and quiet. Imagine walking along a quiet beach at night. The air is cool and salty. As the waves crash gently against the sand, you see something flicker. The water is glowing with an eerie blue-green light. This is real. It is caused by tiny living things known as bioluminescent plankton. When they are disturbed by the movement of the water, they release a flash of cold light. It is not reflected moonlight. It is a chemical reaction inside their tiny bodies. Bioluminescence, the ability to make light, has evolved independently at least 40 times across the tree of life. In the deep ocean, where sunlight never reaches, this glow is everywhere. It is a flickering, drifting constellation of living stars. Even the smallest drop of seawater is a universe. If you were to dip your finger into the ocean, that single drop could contain thousands of microscopic organisms. Plankton, algae, bacteria, and tiny larvae all drift together in a rich, swirling soup. Many of them are translucent, jewel-like, or shaped like alien sculptures. We rarely see them, but they are always there. A drop of water is a world. In this vast ocean, some creatures have learned the art of surrender. Consider the man-of-war snail. It clings to a floating bubble and simply drifts wherever the waters take it. It does not fight the currents. It trusts them. It lets the ocean decide its journey. Sometimes, surrender is the softest, safest way to travel through the world. And then, there are those who refuse to end. Drifting near the warm coastal waters, there is a tiny creature that defies one of nature's most universal laws. This is the Turritopsis dohrnii, often called the immortal jellyfish. When this jellyfish is injured, or when it grows old, it does not die. Instead, it reverses its biological clock. Like a butterfly turning back into a caterpillar, it reverts its body to its earliest stage of life, a polyp. It begins again. It can cycle through its life stages over and over, potentially forever. Here, floating quietly in the sea, is a creature that rewinds time, not once, but again and again. A soft, pulsing bell of immortality drifting in the blue. The ocean is not silent. It is filled with songs that travel further than any voice on land. Beneath the surface, the blue whale sings, Its calls are long, slow, and haunting. They are among the deepest sounds made by any animal, and they can travel for thousands of miles underwater. A whale can sing to another across an entire ocean. They use these songs to find mates, to navigate, and to communicate across the vast, dark distances. And their songs change. Humpback whales create intricate melodies that shift year by year. New phrases are added, old ones are dropped, like a slow-moving oral tradition passed down through the water. Even the coral reefs have a rhythm. We think of coral as rock, but it is a colony of tiny animals, and they are waiting for the moon. On certain nights of the year, under the light of a full moon, the reef begins to wake. All at once, corals across the entire reef release their eggs into the ocean in a synchronized spawning event. The moon's gravity and light cue them to act together. For a brief window, the water is filled with drifting life, a snowstorm of new beginnings. In the quiet reef, the moon calls, and life answers. In the water, form is fluid. Creatures here can change their shape as easily as you change your mind. The octopus drifts like a dream. It is one of the most intelligent creatures on Earth, but its body is a mystery. An octopus can rewrite its own RNA. While most animals stick to the genetic code they were born with, the octopus can make real-time adjustments to how its genes are expressed. It can fine-tune its biology on the fly. And look at the cuttlefish. It is a master of vanishing. It can change the color, texture, and pattern of its skin in the blink of an eye. It blends perfectly with sand, rocks, or coral. Even more incredibly, the cuttlefish is colorblind. It cannot see color the way we do, yet it matches its surroundings with uncanny accuracy. It becomes the world it rests upon. And if you look to the sea floor, you might see a sea cucumber. It looks simple, but it has a remarkable ability. It can turn itself into liquid. When it needs to squeeze into a tight space, it alters the stiffness of its body, flowing like jelly. Then, just as quickly, it becomes solid again. In the slow rhythm of the sea, life dissolves and reforms, shape-shifting without bones, muscles, or effort. Let us dive deeper now, past the light of the sun, into the cold. In the icy waters of the Antarctic, most creatures would freeze solid, but the icefish does not. Its secret is antifreeze. It has evolved special proteins in its blood that prevent ice crystals from forming. Its blood is pale, almost translucent, because it lacks red blood cells. It moves slowly, carefully, a ghost in the freezing water. It survives where nothing else can. And deeper still, to the very bottom of the world. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, beneath miles of crushing water, lies a world of absolute darkness and silence. Here, strange creatures drift in slow, ghostly shapes. Their bodies are adapted to pressures that would crush steel. It is a place where time moves differently. Light has never touched this seafloor, and yet, life breathes softly here. Long before forests, before fish, before bones or eyes, life likely began in this darkness. Deep in the ancient oceans, hydrothermal vents spewed mineral-rich water into the sea. In the scalding heat and total blackness, life found a foothold. Far from starlight, born in the warm breath of stone, the ocean's deepest places are its oldest cradles. We have explored the earth, we have explored the sea, but now the air is calling. Let us rise now, up from the waves, up from the heavy, comforting water, into the air. The atmosphere is not empty space. It is a river of breath, moisture, and invisible currents. If you were to float high above the Amazon rainforest, you would see an ocean of green. But the forest is doing something miraculous. It is creating its own rain. Each day, as the sunlight warms the canopy, billions of trees release moisture into the air through their leaves. This process is called transpiration. This vapor rises, cools, and condenses into clouds. These are often called flying rivers. They drift across the sky, bringing rain not just to the forest below, but to distant lands thousands of miles away. The forest is not just a collection of trees standing still. It is a vast, breathing system. It regulates the climate of an entire continent. And look at the clouds themselves. They look so light, so airy, so effortless. But a single fluffy cloud can weigh millions of pounds. All that weight, floating gently above you, held up by warm air rising softly from the earth. Even the heaviest things can appear light when they are supported by the right forces. In this vast sky, there are masters of flight who have learned to rest without stopping. High above the waves, where there is no place to land, some birds have mastered a remarkable skill, sleeping on the wing. Species like the frigate bird or the alpine swift can stay aloft for days or even weeks, gliding across vast distances without ever touching the ground. To survive such journeys, they sleep with only half their brain at a time. One side of the brain rests, while the other stays alert enough to guide their flight and avoid danger. Their eyes even take turns staying open. It is not deep sleep, but it is enough. While soaring over the sea, they drift in and out of awareness, cradled by the wind. Nature has found a way for rest and motion to coexist, a gentle balance of vigilance and surrender. How do they know where to go? All around us, invisible lines of force stretch from pole to pole, the Earth's magnetic field, and many animals can feel them. Birds navigate thousands of miles across mountains and oceans, returning to the same nesting sites with pinpoint precision. Some birds have tiny crystals of magnetite in their beaks, acting like internal compasses. Others may use specialized proteins in their eyes, allowing them to actually see magnetic fields as visual patterns. It is an ancient map etched into their nervous system. They fly home not just by memory, but by feeling the invisible forces that surround the earth itself. And they are not alone. Sea turtles use magnetic signatures to return to the beaches where they were born. Salmon find their way from the ocean to the exact stream where they hatched. The earth whispers directions, and life listens. This night falls in the sky, the mood changes. When an owl glides through the dark, the air remains still. Its flight is nearly silent. The secret lies in its wings.
Owls have a
unique feather structure with soft edges that break up turbulence. A velvety coating muffles the sound of the air moving over them. No whoosh, no flutter, just stillness. It moves through darkness like a shadow with wings, a ghost in feathers. And while the owl moves in silence, other creatures light up the dark. On warm summer nights, fireflies blink in the grass. This is a courtship dialogue written in light. Males fly through the air, flashing specific rhythms. Females respond from the leaves below. It is one of nature's quietest, most enchanting conversations. And consider the bee. It buzzes during the day, pollinating our world. But bees possess a brilliant mind. They seem to understand the concept of zero. In experiments, bees understand that a blank card represents less than a card with shapes. Inside a hive, thousands of minds work as one. But even the individual bee holds surprises. Small body, big mind. Take a deep breath now. Feel the air filling your chest. That breath has a history. Every breath you take is a gift, not just from the trees, but from the ocean. Tiny organisms called phytoplankton, drifting near the surface of the sea, produce more than half of Earth's breathable oxygen. They form the invisible foundation of the air we breathe. But go back even further. Oxygen was once a deadly poison to early life on Earth. Over 2 billion years ago, early microbial life thrived in an oxygen-free atmosphere. But then came cyanobacteria. They began releasing oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis. Over millions of years, this oxygen accumulated, changing the planet forever. It paved the way for complex life, for us. So, in a way, the breath that keeps you alive is the legacy of ancient survivors. The air you breathe is ancient. Some molecules you inhale may have passed through the lungs of dinosaurs or drifted across oceans for centuries. In every inhale, you are touching the past. We have drifted through the air. We have floated on the wind. But now, it is time to look up, way up, beyond the clouds, beyond the atmosphere, into the stars. We have explored the soil, the sea, and the sky. Now, let us look further. Let us look to the universe that holds it all. It is not poetry, it is physics. You are made of stardust. The calcium in your bones, the very structure that holds you upright, was forged in the heart of ancient stars. In the final moments of a massive star's life, elements heavier than helium are created through nuclear fusion. When that star eventually explodes in a supernova, those elements are scattered across space. They drift like dust in a sunbeam. Over time, they settle into clouds of gas, mixing and swirling until gravity pulls them together once more. Planets form, oceans rise, and eventually, on one small blue world, life begins. The iron in your blood, the carbon in your cells, the oxygen in your lungs, all of it comes from those ancient stars. You do not just live in the universe. You are the universe, arranged in a pattern that can think, breathe, and wonder. You are quite literally made of stardust, walking on a world shaped by light and time. The universe is always here, quietly unfolding around us. It does not announce itself with fireworks or loud declarations. It whispers, in the gentle pulse of a distant star, in the slow dance of galaxies. The cosmos speaks. For centuries, we did not know how to listen, but now we are learning to hear its song. Imagine, decades from now, a fleet of 3 spacecraft drifting in a perfect triangle, millions of kilometers apart. They will float in silence, tracing a slow orbit around the sun. This is LISA, the Laser Interferometer Space Antenna. It will listen to a deeper song than we have ever heard before. Gravitational waves. These are ripples in the very fabric of space-time. Unlike light, which can be blocked or scattered, these waves move through everything. They travel for billions of years, untouched, unaltered, unbroken. Through these subtle vibrations, we will hear the collisions of supermassive black holes and the slow in-spiral of stars. Each wave carries a story that has traveled across the dark ocean of the cosmos to reach us. In this vast darkness, even time itself behaves strangely. We often think of time as a steady arrow, moving forward at the same speed for everyone. But it is not. Time is elastic. Gravity bends time. Clocks tick slower in stronger gravity. Deep in space, far from massive planets, time moves differently than it does here on Earth. Even the GPS satellites that guide our cars and phones must account for this warping of time. If they didn't, their clocks would drift and we would be lost. So, in a very real sense, your phone is constantly talking to the sky, adjusting for the fact that time is not the same everywhere. General relativity tells us that gravity is not just a force. It is the curvature of space-time itself. When a massive object sits in space, it bends the fabric around it, like a heavy stone sitting on a trampoline. The planets orbit the sun not because they are pulled by a string, but because they are rolling along the curves of space. It is a silent, elegant dance, a geometry of the invisible. Gravitational waves do not scatter. They do not reflect. They simply move. Through them, we can feel the motion of the cosmos itself. Imagine 2 black holes merging. It happened billions of years ago, long before life arose on Earth. But the ripples from that event are still traveling. They shake our detectors today, connecting us across time. Where light tells us what something looks like, gravitational waves tell us how it changed. They are silent messengers. In their quiet passage, they carry secrets. The collapse of orbiting stars, the final breath of massive cores. Even the echoes of the very early universe, the first moments after the Big Bang, might still be ringing, faint and low, waiting for us to hear them. And then there are the black holes themselves. They are the universe's ultimate laboratories. They bend space and time to their absolute limits, pulling everything into a singularity where our current laws falter. Yet, even in their darkness, they whisper. Decades ago, Stephen Hawking showed us that black holes are not entirely black. Due to quantum effects near their edge, they emit a faint thermal light. It is a dying whisper, a hint that even the most absolute darkness is not truly silent. A black hole is both a destroyer and a creator, a paradox encoded in light that emerges from darkness. They are windows into the deep order of reality. They test the fabric of the universe and hint at the deeper laws hidden beneath space-time. In the center of the galaxy, giant stars dance around an invisible point. They move at incredible speeds, whipped around by the gravity of a supermassive black hole. It is a cosmic ballet performed in the dark, held together by the curvature of nothingness. We are small, but we are watching. We are listening. We have seen the curvature of stars. Now we must look at the dust from which they are made. Modern physics rests on two great twin pillars. Each is a triumph of human insight. One governs the very large, general relativity. It describes the motion of planets, the curvature of space-time around black holes, and the expansion of galaxies. It is smooth. It is predictable. It is a graceful waltz of heavy objects rolling through the dark. The other governs the very small, quantum mechanics. This is the ruler of the atom. It describes the jittering dance of electrons and the strange behavior of photons. It is fuzzy. It is discrete. It is probabilistic. Each theory works flawlessly in its own domain. Your GPS satellite uses both: quantum mechanics to operate its atomic clock, and relativity to correct for the warping of time. But when these two worlds collide, at the center of a black hole, or in the first heartbeat of the Big Bang, they speak different languages. Relativity is a smooth sheet. Quantum mechanics is a pixelated grid. When brought together, contradictions arise. And in those contradictions lies the frontier of our understanding. It is a beautiful mystery. It tells us that our map of reality is not yet finished. Like a slow digital heartbeat. What is space made of? We tend to think of space as an empty stage where things happen, but space itself might be woven from something smaller. For space-time to be quantum, it must be composed of tiny, indivisible units. Just as a beach is made of grains of sand, the smooth fabric of the universe might be made of tiny grains of geometry. Perhaps they are loops. Perhaps they are strings. Perhaps they are spin networks that form the fabric of reality. In this view, space, time, and gravity are not fundamental. They emerge from deeper processes we have yet to understand. Imagine a fluid, like water. It looks smooth and continuous. But if you zoom in far enough, you see it is made of countless molecules moving together. Space-time might be the same. The continuum we perceive is an approximation. At the smallest scales, the universe is a web of loops, intertwining to form the shape of reality. There is another idea, one that brings music back into the void. String theory proposes that the universe's building blocks are not point-like particles, but tiny, one-dimensional strings. These strings vibrate. And just as a violin string can produce different notes depending on how it vibrates, these cosmic strings give rise to the particles and forces we see. An electron is a string vibrating one way. A photon is a string vibrating another way. Even gravity itself might be the result of a particle called the graviton, born from a specific vibration. In this view, the universe is a symphony. And for the math to work, there must be additional dimensions. we see 3 dimensions of space and 1 of time. But there may be others, hidden, folded up, compactified into scales so small we cannot detect them. 6 or 7 extra dimensions curled up at every point in space, vibrating silently. A hidden geometry right here, right now, in the space between your eyes and this screen. A mystery goes deeper. Quantum mechanics insists that information can never be destroyed, but black holes challenge this. If matter falls in, where does the information go? One solution is the holographic principle. Imagine a soda can. The contents are inside, but the label is on the outside surface. The holographic principle suggests that the information inside a volume of space could be stored on its boundary, like a cosmic hologram. Everything you see, stars, planets, your own hands, might be a 3D projection of information stored on a distant 2D surface. Reality may be far stranger than our intuition allows. Space-time itself might emerge from networks of quantum information and entanglement. We are living in a world of projected light and information, a vast network of correlations, creating the illusion of depth. And finally, we must ask about time. In this emerging picture of the universe, time may not be an external clock ticking in the background. Time might be emergent. It might be a statistical property arising from the correlations between things, cause and effect, past and future. They may not be absolute. They may be patterns. If this is true, our universe is not built of space-time. Space-time is a melody arising from a deeper cosmic symphony. It is a quiet order hidden beneath the familiar flow of seconds and minutes. Imagine that. Time is not a cage. It is a song, and you are a note within it. The tension between these theories, between the smooth and the jagged, the large and the small, is not a failure. It is an invitation. It tells us that nature holds secrets still beyond our reach. It reminds us that knowledge and wonder are inseparable. We listen, we watch, we wonder, and in that quiet, we find not just answers, but the thrill of curiosity itself. For in seeking to understand the cosmos, we touch the edges of our own understanding. And perhaps in doing so, we glimpse the infinite. The cosmic drones slowly fade into the sound of a gentle night rain or crickets. We have wandered far tonight. We have stood at the edge of black holes. We have listened to the vibrations of strings in hidden dimensions. We have floated in the quantum foam where time itself is born. But now it is time to come home. Let your mind drift downward, past the swirling galaxies, past the burning stars, past the cold, quiet moon. See the earth rising to meet you, a blue and white marble floating in the dark. It is small, it is fragile, but it is teeming with miracles. Gravity pulls you gently back, not as a weight, but as an embrace. It holds you to the bed. It holds the oceans to the shore. It holds the atmosphere to the sky. You are back on the ground. The air is cool. The night is still. The back as you settle back into the rhythm of the earth. Remember that the world around you is more aware than it seems. Even the flowers are listening. Research shows that flowers can actually hear the buzz of a passing bee. When a pollinator approaches, the petals vibrate in response to the sound. Within minutes, the flower makes its nectar sweeter,
preparing a gift for the visitor. It is a quiet dialogue. The bee calls and the flower answers. And in the forest, the trees are resting, but they are not disconnected. Some trees, like the quaking aspen, can clone themselves for millennia. A single tree sends out roots underground, sprouting new trunks that look separate, but are all one living being. One such colony is over 80,000 years old. It has watched the glaciers retreat. It has watched civilizations rise and fall. It stands, ancient and
united, a forest that is also a single family. In this hidden persistence, time takes root. Life endures. You are part of this enduring story. You are not separate from nature. You are made of it. Your body contains about 30 trillion cells. Every breath, every thought, every heartbeat is the work of countless microscopic parts working in harmony. You are a community, a miracle of coordination, humming softly beneath your skin. And remember the stardust. The calcium in your bones was forged in the hearts of ancient stars. The iron in your blood came from a supernova explosion billions of years ago. You are the universe, arranged in a pattern that can rest. And just like the fireflies, just like the deep-sea plankton, you shine. The human body emits a faint glow. It is too dim for our eyes to see, but sensitive cameras have captured it. You are a creature of light, shimmering softly in the dark. The experiment of life continues. Somewhere right now, a coral is releasing its eggs into the dark. A bird is sleeping on the wing, high above the ocean. A tardigrade is sleeping in the moss, waiting for rain. A flower is listening for a bee. And you are safe. The universe is always here, quietly unfolding around you. It is a silent symphony of light, matter, and time. And in that quiet, we find the thrill of simply being. So, let your breath slow down even more. Let your thoughts dissolve into the darkness. The journey does not end here. It simply pauses. We listen. We watch. We wonder. Let us pause our flight through the stars and return to the deep time of our own planet. We often think of trees as the oldest things on land. We picture the ancient oaks and the towering redwoods. But there are creatures swimming in the ocean today that are older than the forest itself. Sharks have been on Earth for over 400 million years. Think about that vast span of time. Trees, by comparison, only appeared around 350 million years ago. This means that sharks were swimming in Earth's oceans before a single leaf shaded the land. They were here before the dinosaurs. They have survived 5 mass extinctions. They watched the world change, the continents drift, and the skies darken, yet they remained. Their basic shape has changed very little over time. It is a design perfected by eons, silent, steady, and enduring. In the water, they move with a grace that belongs to deep time. Each glide is a movement shaped by millions of years of survival. And on land, the landscape itself holds memories of a different world. Picture the Sahara Desert. Today, it stretches like a golden sea, vast, hot, and dry. The sand goes on forever. But not so long ago, this place was a lush, green paradise. Roughly 6,000 to 8,000 years ago, rain fell regularly here. Rivers flowed through the dunes. Huge lakes shimmered in the sun. Elephants, giraffes, and crocodiles lived there. Humans painted scenes of this abundant life on the walls of caves that are now surrounded by sand. This green Sahara was created by subtle shifts in the Earth's orbit, which brought the monsoon rains further north. Eventually, the rains faded and the desert returned. But deep beneath the sands, there are still fossilized trees and ancient lake beds. The desert is not empty. It is a memory. It is a reminder that even the harshest landscapes were once soft and alive, and might be again one day. As we move through these landscapes, we find that animals are not just surviving, they are feeling. Among the tall grasses of the savanna, elephants do something that humbles us. They grieve. When an elephant comes across the bones of a deceased relative or friend, it slows down. It becomes quiet. It touches the remains gently with its trunk. They linger there, sometimes returning to the same spot years later to examine the bones again. They have been seen standing guard over the dying, refusing to leave their side. Their grief may not be exactly like ours, but it is deeply felt. In the hearts of these gentle giants, there is a recognition of loss, a quiet truth that empathy does not belong only to humans. And in the ocean, dolphins share a different kind of connection. They have names for each other. In the shimmering blue, they communicate with clicks and whistles. But each dolphin develops a unique signature whistle early in life, a sound that identifies them specifically. Other dolphins learn and remember this whistle. They use it to call out to specific individuals. When researchers played a dolphin's signature whistle back to it, the animal responded just like a person turning when they hear their name. It is not mimicry, it is recognition. In the deep, dolphins speak to one another, maintaining bonds in a fluid, ever-changing social world. Intelligence does not always require a big brain. Sometimes it does not require a brain at all. Deep in the damp soil and decaying wood, there lives a creature called a slime mold. It looks like a patch of yellow lace. It is a single-celled organism with no nervous system, no eyes, and no brain. And yet, it can solve mazes. If you place a slime mold in a maze with food at 2 different exits, it will spread out to explore. Then, it will retract its body from the dead ends, leaving behind only the thickest, most efficient path connecting the food sources. It figures out the shortest route using chemical gradients and feedback loops. It is a kind of distributed intelligence written directly into its body. It does not think, yet it knows. And look at the termites. From the outside, their mounds look like piles of dirt. But inside, they are marvels of engineering. Some mounds house millions of termites in a complex network of tunnels. But their greatest trick is the air conditioning. Termites design their mounds to regulate temperature using convection currents. They build vents that allow warm air to rise and escape, while cool air is drawn in from below. This keeps the mound stable and comfortable, even when the temperature outside swings wildly. They do this without blueprints, without a leader, and without tools. Just instinct and cooperation. And in the forests of South America, the ants themselves become the architecture. Army ants are constantly on the move. When they reach a gap or a stream they cannot cross, they do not stop. They build a bridge out of their own bodies. One ant anchors to a branch. Another climbs onto its back. Then another and another. They link their legs and mandibles to form a living structure that is flexible and strong. Thousands of ants may link together to let the colony cross. When the march is done, the bridge simply breaks apart and the ants rejoin the river of life. One body among many, all working as one. Nature is not just clever, it is an artist. Consider the spider. In the quiet corners of the garden, it spins a material that is one of the strongest in nature. Spider silk is thinner than a hair, yet weight for weight, it is stronger than steel. It is incredibly flexible, able to stretch and absorb energy without breaking. Each thread is a masterpiece of protein, assembled with microscopic precision. Some spiders spin sticky silk to catch prey, while others spin smooth silk for structure. Some can even spin silk underwater. And then there are the leaves. Hold a leaf up to the light. You will see a delicate network of veins branching across it like a river system. These veins carry water and sugar to every corner of the leaf. But the leaf itself is a machine. The surface is dotted with tiny valves called stomata that open and close to let the leaf breathe. Inside, the green pigment chlorophyll captures sunlight and turns it into energy. No two leaves are exactly the same. Each one is a unique response to the light and the wind, a masterpiece that is fragile, beautiful, and alive with purpose. Even the color blue is a trick of the light. Blue is incredibly rare in nature. When you see a blue jay or a morpho butterfly, you are not seeing blue pigment. Most animals cannot make blue dye. Instead, they use physics. They create microscopic structures on their feathers or scales that bend and scatter light to reflect only the blue wavelengths. It is called structural coloration. It is an optical illusion created by shape, not chemistry. So when you see a flash of blue in the wild, you are seeing light dancing on the edge of biology and physics. The forest is also a pharmacy, and the animals know how to use it. We often think medicine is a human invention, but in the forests of Africa and South America, monkeys and chimpanzees have been practicing medicine for eons. When they are sick or suffering from parasites, they seek out specific plants that have no nutritional value. They chew the bitter pith of certain stems or swallow rough leaves whole. These plants contain antibacterial or antiparasitic compounds. The animals do not eat them for food. They eat them to heal. This is called zoopharmacognosy, animal self-medication. It reveals a hidden intelligence. Among the branches, knowledge is passed down or known by instinct, a quiet wisdom that keeps them well. And sometimes, the healing comes from the landscape itself. When wolves were reintroduced to Yellowstone National Park, they didn't just change the animal population, they changed the rivers. By keeping the deer moving, the wolves allowed the vegetation along the riverbanks to recover. Trees grew taller. Their roots stabilized the soil. With less erosion, the rivers became narrower and deeper. The water flowed more steadily. Beavers returned to build dams. A single species, simply by living its life, reshaped the geography of the park. It is a powerful reminder that everything is interconnected, a ripple effect that turns a predator into a healer of the land. High-pitched, the world you see is not the only world that exists. When you look at a flower, you might see yellow or red, but to a bee, that same flower looks completely different. Bees can see ultraviolet light, a part of the spectrum invisible to human eyes. To them, a plain flower might be blazing with glowing patterns, landing strips, and radiant rings designed to guide them to the nectar. There is a hidden spectrum all around us, filled with signs and colors we will never see. And some animals see the world through heat. Snakes like pit vipers and pythons have special organs on their faces that detect infrared radiation. They can see the body heat of a mouse in total darkness. The world to them is a glowing thermal map. It is not magic. It is physics tuned into biology. And consider the bat. It does not need light at all. Bats navigate with sound. They emit high-frequency calls that bounce off objects, returning as echoes. By listening to these echoes, they can hear the texture of a moth's wing or the distance of a branch. They can fly through dense forests in pitch blackness without ever touching a leaf. They do not fear the dark. To them, the darkness is loud with information. They hear space. The peer is drift back up to the cosmos, where our vision is tested on the grandest scale. A theory is only a story until it is proven, and the story of gravity, general relativity, had to be proven by the stars. In 1915, Einstein claimed that gravity was the bending of space. He said that even light itself would bend as it passed a massive object. 4 years later, in 1919, astronomers waited for a total solar eclipse. As the moon blocked the sun, the sky went dark, and the stars appeared. They took photographs, and when they measured the positions of the stars near the sun, they found they were out of place. The sun's gravity had bent the starlight, just as Einstein predicted. The math on the page had become a reality in the sky. We see this precision elsewhere in the cosmos. Deep in space, there are stars called pulsars. They spin incredibly fast, blasting beams of radio waves like cosmic lighthouses. Astronomers use these pulsars as metronomes. They are so precise that we can use them to detect the faint ripples of gravitational waves passing through the galaxy. The universe is singing a song of precision, timing, and geometry. If you could see with microwave eyes, the sky would not be dark. It would be glowing. Everywhere we look, in every direction, there is a faint background glow left over from the beginning of time. This is the cosmic microwave background. It is the afterglow of the Big Bang, the heat of the universe's infancy, now cooled and stretched by billions of years of expansion. Within this glow, there are tiny ripples. These ripples are the fingerprints of quantum fluctuations that happened in the first fraction of a second. Those tiny jitters in the early universe became the seeds for the galaxies we see today. When you look at a map of this background radiation, you are looking at the baby picture of the universe. You are seeing the moment when the quantum and the cosmic were one and the same. It is a reminder that everything large was once small. Everything separate was once together. And so, we return to the resilience of the life that lives in this universe. Life has never stopped finding a way. It emerged from boiling vents in the deep ocean. It spread across continents, took flight, swam deep, and burrowed under. It adapted to cold, heat, acid, and vacuum. Every time it seemed cornered, it found a new shape. It grew feathers, fur, armor, and thought. It built coral reefs and root systems, nests and cities. Even now, in the deepest caves, the saltiest lakes, and the hottest springs, life is beginning again. It is not perfect. It is not always pretty, but it is endlessly determined. In you, in me, in every leaf and breath and cell, the experiment continues. It have looked at the stars, and we have looked at the soil. Now, let us look inside. Within your own body, there is a hidden history. It is not just the history of your ancestors, but the history of life itself. Deep within your cells, written into the very code that makes you who you are, there are ancient guests. Around 8% of the human genome comes from viruses that infected our distant ancestors millions of years ago. These ancient viruses inserted their genetic material into our DNA. Over eons, they went silent. They became part of us. But they did not just disappear. Some of these viral genes have been repurposed by evolution. They now play vital roles in how our brains develop, and even how we reproduce. So, in a very real sense, you are part virus. You are a library of survival, stitched together from creatures long forgotten. The human body is not a single story. It is a tapestry woven from millions of years of biological meetings. And you are also a landscape for the very small. We tend to think of viruses and bacteria only as things that make us sick, but many are helpers. Some viruses attack harmful bacteria in your gut, protecting you from within. And your microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living inside you, helps you digest food, produces vitamins, and even influences your mood. You are a walking ecosystem, a world within a world. Even as you sleep, trillions of tiny lives are working quietly to keep you whole. Let your mind drift now to the coldest corners of the earth, to the white silence of the Arctic. Here, animals have learned to become the landscape. Consider the Arctic fox. In the winter, its fur turns pure white, blending perfectly with the endless snow. But when summer arrives and the snow melts, the fox changes. It molts, growing a coat of brown or gray to match the rocks and the tundra grass. Season by season, it becomes the land it walks upon. It is a shapeshifter, tuned to the turning of the world. And walking through that same snow is the polar bear. It looks like a symbol of white purity, but it is hiding a secret. Beneath that thick white fur, the polar bear's skin is actually black. This dark skin absorbs every bit of heat from the sun, holding on to warmth in the bitter cold. And its fur is not truly white. It is transparent. The hairs scatter light like snow, hiding the bear while letting the sun reach its dark skin below. It is a creature engineered for the cold, a warm heart beating in a body built of light and shadow. In the animal kingdom, time is not always a straight line. Some creatures have found a way to press pause. Deep in the Australian outback, the kangaroo carries a remarkable secret. When conditions are harsh, or if she is already caring for a joey, a mother kangaroo can pause her pregnancy. She can stop the development of an embryo, holding it in a state of suspended animation called diapause. It waits there, safe and sleeping, until the time is right. When the rains return, or when her pouch is empty, the embryo wakes up and continues to grow. It is a mastery over time written into her biology. And plants too have a sense of time. In fact, they can do math. At night, when the sun goes down, plants can no longer make food from sunlight. They must survive on the starch they stored during the day. But they must be careful not to run out before dawn. So, they perform a chemical calculation. They measure the amount of food they have, and they divide it by the number of hours left until sunrise. They adjust their metabolism perfectly, so they use the last drop of energy just as the sun comes up. It is not conscious thought, but it is astonishingly accurate. Inside every leaf, a quiet calculation unfolds in the dark. Even in sleep, life thinks. What if you could never be broken? Beneath the tide, the starfish glides slowly across the rocks. It is calm and silent, but it possesses a superpower. If a starfish loses an arm to a predator, it does not panic. It simply grows a new one. Some species can go even further. If a single arm is torn off with a piece of the central disc attached, that single arm can grow an entire new body. It rewrites itself. It builds a new self from the pieces of the old. And in freshwater pools, the flatworm takes this to the extreme. If you cut a planarian worm into pieces, each piece will regenerate into a complete new worm. It can rebuild its muscles, its nerves, its organs, and even its brain. It reminds us that life is stubborn. It refuses to be undone. In the quiet water, healing is always possible. Now, move from the water to the sand. In the harsh deserts of the Middle East, the camel moves with a slow, rocking gait. It is unhurried. We often think camels store water in their humps, but they actually store fat. This fuel allows them to go for weeks without eating or drinking. They are built for endurance. Their blood cells are oval-shaped, allowing them to flow smoothly even when the camel is dehydrated. They can close their nostrils to keep out the sand. Their eyelashes are long and thick to block the sun. They are not just surviving the desert, they are made of it. They are specialists in scarcity. And even in the dry sands, the microscopic world is at work. Scientists have recently discovered microbes that can eat plastic. In landfills and soil, certain bacteria and fungi have evolved enzymes that can digest synthetic materials, turning our waste back into simple compounds. It is a slow process, but it is a beginning. It shows us that nature is always adapting. Even in the mess we have made, life is finding a new way to carry on. Nature is not just in the forest or the ocean. It is right outside your window. Consider the pigeon. We see them every day, pecking at crumbs on the sidewalk. But they are watching you. Studies have shown that pigeons can recognize individual human faces. They remember who has fed them and who has chased them away. Even if you change your clothes, they know who you are. They have a visual memory that rivals that of primates. And the crows are even sharper. Crows can plan for the future. They save tools for later use. They can solve complex puzzles to get food. Some crows even hold grudges, remembering the faces of people who have wronged them for years. They are thinkers. They are problem solvers wrapped in black feathers. So when you walk through the city, know that you are not alone. The birds are watching, learning, and remembering. You are part of their world too. A blend of cello, synth, and slow bass. And so, we see that the web of life is unbreakable. We have traveled from the microscopic viral DNA hiding in your cells to the massive black holes warping time in the deep cosmos. We have seen trees that talk underground and whales that sing across oceans. We have seen frogs that freeze solid and bacteria that build stone. We have learned that the earth breathes, that the ocean glows, and that the sky is a river. Life has survived 5 mass extinctions. It has emerged from boiling vents and frozen ice. It has grown feathers, fur, and thought. It is resilient. It is adaptable. And it is everywhere. And you are the consciousness of this universe. You are the stardust that woke up. You are the way the universe knows itself. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the water in your cells. It is all borrowed from the stars and the earth. And now, it is time to return that energy to rest. The music slows down significantly, becoming very quiet. Let the weight of these wonders settle upon you like a warm blanket. There is nothing more you need to learn tonight. There is nothing more you need to do. The world is vast, but right now, your world is small. It is just this room, just this bed, just this breath. The ants are sleeping in their rafts. The birds are gliding on the wind. The seeds are waiting in the soil. The stars are burning in the silence. Everything is in its place, and you are safe to drift away. You are made of stardust. You are made of stories. You are home. Sleep well, and thank you for dreaming with us. Good night.